Hello out there, welcome back to Everything You Need to Know About Mage Knight board game. This is part 30. We're going to finish talking about the variants that you can have in your game, and then we're going to actually look at the scenarios. You've already seen one of them, we're going to get to the rest. Okay, the first scenario I want to talk about is Rampage. Now, obviously in all these spaces, these are marauding orcs, and these are Draconum. They are marauding enemies or rampaging enemies. They will attack you when you go by. So you've defeated all of them. Hooray! I forgot to mention at the beginning of the game, for this variant, you're going to lower your reputation by 2. So you're going to start with a -1 penalty. Okay, and I'll explain why in a second. But if you're going to play Rampage, you lower it by 2 to -1. Okay, so here are these spaces where all these rampaging enemies were defeated in the previous round. What you're going to do at the end of a day round is you're going to take a mana die and you're going to roll it. And if you get a green, red, or gold, there's a red right there. I just rolled for this space. You're going to put a token back there. So they've like regenerated, okay? So now we'll try this space right here. Again, I'm looking for red, green, or gold. There's another red. Okay. So I would put one there. Now I'm going to roll, and I get a green, so I put another one there. But let's say that I rolled a gold, okay? If I rolled a gold, not only I did it for that space, not only would I put a green one there, but I would actually draw a brown one, and that brown one would go there too. Okay, so now we have 2 enemies here, and basically what's going to happen is when you go by the space, this is still a rampaging enemy, so when you move from one space adjacent to another, it attacks you, or you can attack it. You now have to fight the both of them. And each of these tokens is now worth 1 reputation, plus obviously the fame at the bottom of it. So again, you fight a brown token, and the enemy you put back if you roll a gold. If you just roll a red or green, you put back just the green or the red Draconum, whichever one you replaced. Now at the end of the night, you're going to roll, but now you're looking for, oh, I'm good at this, aren't I? A white, a blue, okay, that was supposed to be black. A white, blue, or black. If you get a white, blue, or black, same thing. You're going to put a green orc back or a red dragon back, Draconum. If you happen to roll a black, you're also going to add a brown token. Okay? So, not too complicated. At the end of the day, you roll a red, green, or gold, which will let you put a marauding enemy back. If it's a gold, you also put in a brown token. Each of those is worth 1 reputation. Same thing with the Draconum, except they're worth 2 reputation each. And at night, you're looking to roll a blue, white, or black, and if you roll a black, then you add a brown token. Now there's a more Rampage variant, which is even more intense, where you lower your reputation by 4, so you start with a -2 penalty. If you do that, then you're automatically going to replace the rampaging enemies at the end of the round, but you're going to roll, and at the end of the day, if you roll a red, green, or gold, you're going to also add a brown. And if you roll a white, blue, or black at the end of a night round, you're also going to add a brown. So that's Rampage, that's how that works. There's also a variant for friendly game, and this is good not just for co-ops, but for games with newer players. You want to have a friendlier game, you don't want it to be really tough. You're going to go ahead and remove these 4 spells here, 17, 18, 19, and 20. These are the interactive spells. You are not going to use these spells in a friendly game. They're going to come out. You're also going to take out the spell. See if I can find one here. Or rather, the skill that has this black silhouetted head here. Okay, this is an interactive skill. This is going to be hurtful to other people. In this particular one, she throws away 2 wounds. One of them she gives to another player. So, you're not going to have any interactive skills, no interactive spells. You are not going to have PvP combat, so if you land on the same space as another Mage Knight, you will have forced withdrawal. You will have to backtrack, and for each space you backtrack, you will take a wound. The other thing is friendly mana. I just had that other mana die here. There it is, and that's a white. Okay, so, for example, right here we have a white and gold mana. Now, if I decide I want to power a white card, I could use this gold mana. But there's a perfectly good white mana die right here. Why am I being a creep and taking away a gold mana die that I'm just going to roll to something else later? I'm going to leave that for another player to use, and I'm going to use this white die to power my white card. So, friendly dice, no spells, no skills, and no PvP, and that's how we do that nicely. Okay. Next, we have interactive combat. This is a variant where you're going to take a mana die. You're not going to roll it. You're going to set it to whatever color you want to. And I'm going to go ahead and set it to red. So, I'm going to set it to red. This is for the guy sitting next to me whose turn it is. I just went. And I'm going to cover this up. Okay? Now, this is optional. But I'm going to cover this up, and he's going to go ahead and do his combat. So, in this particular instance, he is going to be fighting these orcs here, these ironclad. Okay? Now, I have an option. I can set this to whatever color I want. I set it to red. In the first round of combat, if I choose to set it to white, I can reveal it and say, it's white. What that means is, during the ranged and siege attack, his armor is going to be +1. Okay? That makes it tougher for my friend sitting next to me to hit him in ranged and siege attack. If it's not white, I just say it's not white, and then we go on. Now, in this case, it was red. So, in red, now, he's going to attack the player. Okay, he's going to attack the Mage Knight. This red is going to give him +1 to his attack during the attack phase. Okay? If I decided to set it to blue, if I can find blue, there it is. There's only 6 sides of this. There it is. If I set it to blue and I reveal it during the Mage Knight's attack phase, when he's attacking him, now his armor gets increased by 1. So his armor gets increased by 1 during range and siege attack phase if it's white, and by 1 during the attack phase if I set it to blue. Also, his attack is increased by 1 if I set it to red. I just have to reveal during the appropriate phase, aha, it's red, or aha, it's white, or aha, it's blue. If he conquers this enemy, he gets 1 more fame for doing that. Now, I could just set it to gold or green or black and not do anything, and he's just worried about it. So that's just a little fun variant, interactive combat. Okay, finally, some more deck building. This is going to involve advanced action, so let's get some of these deed cards out here. Deck building. There are upgrades. You can tune your deck. You can build it a little bit stronger. This will help you get a better deck of cards quicker. What you do is, at the end of every night, so during the first and second nights basically in a 6-round game, you are going to go ahead and score your deck. You're going to take this achievement card here, and you're only looking at the first 3 categories. So you're going to go through your deck, you're going to see what you have, and you're going to see what everybody else has too, and you're going to give yourself 2 points. You're not going to score it on the fame track, you just do this mentally. You're going to go ahead and score yourself 2 points for each spell, 2 points for each artifact, 1 point for each advanced action, 1 point for each pair of crystals. They don't have to be the same color, just for every 2 crystals you calculate 1 point of fame. 1 point of fame for each level of units in your army, and if you have a wounded unit, you just cut their level in half and round down. Okay? You take all that fame and you add it together. Then you see where you are on the board relative to where the lowest player is, and you add 3 for every level you're ahead of them. You take that number and you announce it. The person at the table with the lowest fame is then going to go first, and you're going to take 1 more advanced action than you have players. So for example, here we have a total of 4. Let's say we have 3 players, so I take 4 advanced actions. Okay. Now, the player who just got the lowest score is going to get to choose, if he wants to, 1 of these advanced actions. In order to take it, he has to throw away an action card from his hand that is either the same color or the same type. For example, up here this is a special card. He would have to throw a special card out of his deck and he could take this, or throw away a red card and he could have it. This one right here is an influence card, so if he threw away an influence card like, say, Promise or Threaten, which would be smart, he could take this one. He could also throw away a green card and get this. So that's how we get some deck building. It also kind of lets you know where you stand in the game in terms of where your deck is. Not just where you are on the fame track, but where everybody else's deck strength is and where you need your deck to be stronger. That's a good way. The other thing you can do is draft at the beginning. For that, before you've even started, before you've taken the tactics and set the map up and everything else, you're going to take 4 advanced actions. You're gonna deal them out to each player. So each player gets 4 advanced actions, and you're going to look at them. You're going to choose one that you want to keep, and you're going to pass the other 3. And then they're going to pass 3 to you. Then you take those 3 and you decide which one you want to keep, and you pass the other 2. You keep doing this until you have 3 cards set aside. And you're going to put those in a separate part of your play area so they don't get accidentally shuffled in with the rest of your cards. And then at the end of each day, okay, you're going to shuffle one of those advanced actions into your deck. And that just kind of helps you tune your deck and get a little bit stronger. Again, all of these things, we talked about deck building, interactive combat, friendly mana, friendly spells and skills, no PvP, rampage, adjusting the city levels, the day-night board, adjusting that, adjusting the map size and shape. All of these are just variants. Please, please, please do not do any of these until you've played through the game. Do not do them with new players playing for the first time. This is just something to give you an idea of what you can do to play the game and keep it fresh and exciting and new and interesting. Not that you're ever going to play 2 games of this the same way twice. So, next we're going to talk about the scenarios, and then you will know everything there is to know about Mage Knight board game. Thank you for your patience. I hope you've enjoyed this. Until next time, GLHF. Good luck. Have fun.